Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a review video and I've got the new Jeffree Star Morphe brush set and this is what it looks like. So pretty. Now I have already used them, I've already washed them, so this video is going to be showing you what they look like, showing you how they apply to do this a bit of a strange looking makeup going on my face, and also what they look like and how they wash at the end, and my final thoughts. So this brush set was released just a couple of days ago. I happened to be online looking through my emails when I had a Morphe email to say that this is now live to purchase this, and I was thinking, shall I, shan't I, shall I, shan't I? I didn't know what to do, but I'd previously watched a Tati video. They seem okay, and for the price, you know, it's quite good value for money. So I was in, but because it was just released and it was there, and I was thinking, oh, what should I do? So I ended up using James for James Charles, James code, and I got 10% off, and I think I got shipping 3 to 4 days, but it came in 2 because I only ordered it on, I'm sure it was a Tuesday, and it's now a Thursday, and it cost me £43, just over £43 for 7 brushes. So if you didn't already know, Jeffree Star has collaborated with Morphe, and he's also brought out some beauty blending sponges as well, which I haven't got, and I won't be buying those because I like my Nancy beauty blenders for £2.99 from Amazon. So that's fine, so I won't be doing those, but I just thought I would do a little video and I'll try these out to see what they were like. So they come in this little pouch here, it's got Jeffree Star Morphe on there, and yeah, so I'll just give you a quick lowdown about what they are like and what they look like, etc. So we got a set of 7, we got 4 face brushes, and we got 3 eye brushes there, so let's go through them one by one. So the first one is JS1, and it's a size queen brush, and this is a foundation brush. So this is what it looks like there. Super soft, really lovely, dense, quite flat bristles there. The design of this is gorgeous. It's so nice. It's really lightweight. It's really nice to hold as well. Online it says that this brush is synthetic, and it says bigger is totally better, babe, especially when it comes to your foundation brush. The rounded, large and in charge head will help you blend, buff and cover in all the right places. Pause, never met her. Selfie, here you come. So that's the foundation brush. So next we've got a JS2 point blank precision brush. This is what that looks like there. And again, gorgeous, nice soft head, really lovely. So for this, I use this for setting powder, and I used it for bronzer, and I used it for blush on my face as well, because I wanted to try and give it a really good run for its money. So this is a synthetic brush. We like big buffs, and we cannot lie. The longer bristles fit into every contour of the face and delivers a smooth application to your fave powder products. Want to go full on? Who doesn't? This babe is perfect for all over setting action. So that's second brush. So next we've got the JS3 iconic contour brush, and that's what that looks like there. So a little bit of a smaller head there, really pretty. Ooh, can you see there? Again, this is synthetic. Chisel those cheekbones, mama. You'll be living for the small, dense bristles that make it easy to handle any detailed contouring job. It slays well with powder and creamy or liquid products. So I use powder today for my little bit of a contour going on there. Oh, it also says this brush changed my life and how I contour my nose. It's great for small areas and builds product pretty easily. And yeah, I agree with that. Next, we've got a JS4 Fly High brush. And this is the highlight brush, which is a little bit fluffy. Oh, I wish I'd shown you at the start before I'd done the makeup. You will see it as I apply the makeup and everything, and I'll show you what brush I use, what it looks like. And I've got a picture. I put a picture on my Instagram, which is Diary of 40 something. So it's the same as this, but without the A. But yeah, as soon as I washed it, and I'm so gentle with my brushes because I really want to look after them and make them last long as possible. But yeah, I left it to dry and it came back like a fluffy ball. I love this brush. It was so nice to apply a highlight on. This is Natural Bristles. Hi Highlight, how are you? We all know Jeffree is obsessed with a highlighter you can see from outer space. Can't say we blame him. This Au Naturel brush will take you there. One of my favourites, highlighting is my obsession. You can highlight your whole body with this one. So that's that one. Again, it's a natural brush, and I do think that the synthetics are definitely 10 times better quality than the natural brushes in this selection. This is a crease brush. And look, that's turned into a little ball as well. Oh, and it had a really nice point as well. But again, you will see in the video exactly what it looks like as it goes on. So this is a JS5 and it's a crease queen brush in natural. Get all your details and a new crease online. The longer bristles allow you to place colour in all the right spots and buff out to perfection. Yes, mama. I do have deep set eyes, so I wanted to create something that fits right into that eye socket. And yeah, it is a really, really lovely brush, but it's just a fluff ball now. Hopefully I can sort it out. Then we've got a JS6 Rule Blender brush. So a little bit of a smaller brush there. There you can see. And I'm not sure if it'll pick up on camera, but that is a bit fluffy as well. That's got really fluffy. Hopefully you can see there, because the camera wants to focus on my face. Again, it was quite a nice brush. I used it to pack on colour on top of my eyelids there and underneath my eyes, and it did it beautifully. Really quite nice, quite nice. So I'm quite chuffed with that, but not chuffed with how it's washed. So on to the last item then, and I love this. This is the JS7 Double Trouble brush, and we're back to synthetic again. And this got a spoolie little brush on the end here, and we've got a eyebrow brush there. Can you see? It is super fine and thin, which is perfect for getting your eyebrows done. Although in the video I don't use it I use this, the brush, but I don't use the actual eyebrow brush here to create, because I tend to prefer pencils for my eyebrows, because my eyebrows are non-existent, so it tends to look a little bit more natural. But because I decided to go for this sort of wacky look on my eyes, I use this to carve out the shape then, and it's perfect. So I'll be using this more for like arty detailed work in my eyes in the future, so no, really happy with that. And it says here, there are two sides to every story. This double-ended dream knows how to bring the drama. Use the angled end for drawing on brows of your fave cream products, or use with concealer to brighten up that brow highlight. Turn the spoolie end to brush out the harsh brow lines, leaving you with soft natural arches. And he says, I've been drawing on my brows since the 10th grade. Last year I took time off from them, but baby, brows are back this year thanks to this razor sharp brush. So when I was looking for information for these brushes, I found out that they're now sold out on the Morphe website, but they're bound to come back. But it says limit to 2 per order, and they are, doesn't even say how much they cost. I think it was £48. But what was strange, on the website it's got £85 slashed off to £48. Unless that's what it's really worth if you were to buy them all individually. Probably, I don't know. But no, there's loads of reviews on here. I haven't even looked at them yet. There's 24 reviews and 50 answers. So I would recommend going on to the uk.morphe.com, or unless you're from out of the UK, then obviously whatever that website would be for your country. But yeah, to have a look to see. So without going into too much detail about my thoughts, yeah, there's some surprises there, but overall they are just beautiful. They are so pretty. They are really, really pretty. Yeah, really pretty and nice. And my favourites by far are the face brushes, these ones. This in particular, I think this is going to be a firm favourite of mine. So yeah, so if you're interested to see what they look like before they're washed and how they apply to my face and my thoughts and my afterthoughts, etc., then carry on watching. So my face is all prepped, and I'm going to be using Yves Saint Laurent All Hours, and this is in shade B20, using my Jeffree Star mirror. So I'm going to be starting off by using this foundation brush, which is a JS1, and it's a size queen brush. So that's what that looks like there. Lobbing it on any old way. This brush feels really nice actually. Now I'm a sponge lover. I do much prefer a sponge. I just find that I prefer to apply thin layers of foundation on top of each other, and I can do that with a sponge, whereas with a brush it's more of a thicker layer on the skin, which is fine, but I just prefer a sponge, and I just find that it just blends much nicer into my skin. But this brush is lovely. It's feeling really, really nice. Blending the foundation in really lovely. No nasty brush marks on my face. No, I'm quite impressed with that. Next I'm going to apply some concealer, and I've got some Tarte Shape Tape here, and this is in shade Fair Neutral. So I'm just going to blend that in with my normal beauty blending sponge, and I'll come back to you. So now that I'm looking super pale, I'm going to go on to set in my under eyes now. And I'm going to be using the JS2 Point Blank Precision brush. So I'm just going to use a pressed powder. This is Bourjois Healthy Mix in shade, I don't know what it is, Vanilla. And just set my eye area and my eyebrows. Yeah, that's lovely. As far as a nice soft brush, really, really lovely. So next I move on to the JS3, which is that iconic contour brush. So this is quite small, really, really small. So I've got a Revolution Pro Artist Contour, and it's a refill, and it doesn't say the shade or anything like that. Contour 4. Ooh, I noticed that it's not fluffy. It is fluffy when you feel it, but it's quite dense. For contour, generally I like a fluffier brush. Hold on, let me see. Right, I've got one here. This is it's a Real Techniques one. Can you see? It's more rounded and fluffy. I just find with that I can really get in there and buff it out a bit. With this one, it's more precise. So it's a definite, if you want to get that chiseled look, I suppose. It is a nice brush, but it's just something I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to be a little bit softer. I'll probably just keep it like that and just buff it out with a bronzer. It's good for this, because you don't want a big fluffy brush around your jaw, because you just end up having a big brown blob of a mess. So it is nice for that. So going back to the JS2, which is the powder brush, and I'm using Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in Light. I'm just going to warm up my face a little bit and try and blend that contour in a little bit as well. It's a nice brush, but it's a little bit too big. I think I'm going to prefer it much more for blusher. I just think that it's just too long for a bronzer to really swirl in there. It needs to be a little bit shorter, for my preference anyway, because we're all different. But no, I do like it. It's nice and soft. It feels lovely on the skin. So on to highlight now, and we've got the JS4 Fly Highlighting Brush. So this looks gorgeous, really, really nice brush. I'm just going to use a little, I think it's a sample or a mini version, Laura Geller Baked Gelato in Gilded Honey that I received. I think it was a little fantastic box. Oh, I love this brush. I do, I really, really love it. It's just nice, just a nice, precise little brush. Not too big, not too small, so you can get some good highlight going on there. No, I do, I really like it. Really easy to use. So that's the highlight done, and I absolutely love this brush for highlight. I think it's perfect. Perfect size, feels nice and soft, not too fluffy and not too small either. So yeah, no, I love this. So brilliant for setting powder on your face, not so great for bronzer, but I think it's going to pull it off for the blush. So I'm using Revolution, and this is Vivid Bake Blush in Make Love Instead. So it looks like there. This is nice, it is nice. Yeah, very light, very, very light, but really, really nice. Just adding a pop of colour there. Just using a clean, fluffy brush. Just lightly buff it all in together. Only slightly, but I just find that it just softens it a little bit more. But no, so far, so good. Super impressed. Using Rimmel Instamatte. They're looking gorgeous. So using the JS7 Double Trouble brush, to think then, we've got a little brush on one end, which I showed you at the beginning, and we've got a spoolie on here. So I'm just going to brush my eyebrows through. So I've just used this spoolie, absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. Perfect, perfect. Grabs the eyebrows really well. So yeah, as far as the little brush thing here is concerned, that is brilliant. Now, I don't use pomade or anything like that on my eyebrows, but this brush is super thin. So if I were to do it, I think it would be a really, really lovely brush. So for me, it's if my eyebrows were thicker, then I would use a pomade. I would use powders and things like that, but because you can tell they're really thin and I've got hardly any hair here whatsoever, so I find using pencils are much, much better and flattering for my eyebrows. So I won't be using that in this video, but it's very thin and I can imagine it being really, really nice to get some hair like strokes going through there, no problem. So I'm just going to do my eyebrows off camera and then I'll come back to you. So that's my eyebrows done, looking a little bit dark, a little bit weird. I've just brushed away the little baking that I've done underneath my cheekbones. So now onto eyeshadow, and I'm really excited for this. We have just got two brushes, number 5 and number 6. So I'm going to be using a different brush to pack on a base colour, and then I'll be using this crease brush, and then I'll be using this more dense brush here. So using Urban Decay's Naked Cherry palette, I'm using the very first colour, which is Hotspot, which is here, which is my perfect base colour. I absolutely love it. Love it. And using an Eco Brush Tools. An Eco Tools brush. So I'm just going to pat that colour all over my lid. Going in with the SJ5 crease brush. Let's start with Feels, which is down here. I love a little crease brush that has a point. My favourite ever crease brush in the world so far is Zoeva's 228. Oh, I just love it. It's just an amazing brush. So let's see what this is like. So I'm just going to, in circular motions, just go from one side to the other, concentrating just in the middle at the start. Feels nice on the skin, not scratchy or anything. It's more precise than my Zoeva. It needs a wash, okay, so don't judge, but this is the difference. So there, so that's the Zoeva one, and that's the Morphe one, the Jeffree Star one. So this is more elongated. I think this still wins, just from first application. I think this one still wins. It does come up into a little point, maybe you can't see there now, but it does come up into a tiny little point, but because it widens a little bit more than this means that I'm able to blend and buff out a little bit more precisely. Jeffree Star one just needs that little bit more work, but it's a nice brush. It is a really, really nice brush. I forgot to say, I love holding these. They are very lightweight, easy to hold. I love the design on here. It just, yeah, it doesn't feel like it's going to slip out my hand or anything. It's just really nice, really, really nice to hold. I carry on using this brush, and I'm going to use a bolder colour, Bling, which is up here, that one there. Yeah, it's nice to get in that shape, like going down here, up, around and flick out, up, around and flick out. Can you see there? That's what I'm sort of creating, and then I'll be going in with the brush then to buff it out a little bit more, but no, I do like that. Definitely prefer this brush to do more like precision work then. I hope I'm making sense. So I'm going to soften that colour a little bit with Juicy, which is up here, and I'm using an actual Morphe brush, and this is M504. It's a big fluffy one, only a tiny bit, but I just want to bring that colour just through here. So using Born to Run by Urban Decay palette. Love this palette, absolutely stinking. But I love it. I'm using Wild Heart, which is this one up here, and I'm using the, which number are we? JS6. Now it says that this can be used for anything. It says blending, but it's because it's sort of like, it's not a flat brush, but it's a semi-squarish, rounded square brush. So I'm using it to pack colour on them, on my lids there. So I'm going to use that Wild Heart. Yeah, a nice brush for packing colour on. Yeah, nice size and everything. I do quite like it. So going back to the crease brush, I'm not adding any more colour on there so far. I'm just going to bring that under. This is a nice brush actually for under eyes, really nice. So I'm going to go slightly darker, and I'm going to go for the Devilish, which is up here. Whoa, gotten a bit mad with that, haven't I? Hopefully it'll, yeah, hopefully I can blend that in a bit. So going in with Privacy, which is the last one, still using the crease brush because I like the tip of this. Going to run that just slightly in the corners of my lids at the top here to darken the outer side up a bit, and then underneath as well, just a little bit in the corner. Going back to the JS6 brush, I'm going to wet it down. Some MAC Prep and Prime setting spray. Ooh. And I'm going to use Young Love, which is a shimmery colour down there. Can you see there? Just put that in the middle there. Ooh. Just bring that colour a little bit underneath, just in the middle. So I'm just going to try and buff this out a little bit. So there's my eye look done, and because it's Jeffree Star, let's do something a bit funky. Now I did this last year sometime. It happened to be a mistake. I had a winged eyeliner and it just went completely wrong, and yeah, it was a nightmare. So I ended up taking away the outer corners with concealer, and I ended up playing around with it, and I did a particular shape in the middle of my eyeshadow. I posted up a picture of it, which I'll insert to show you, but I had a few of you ask me if I can do a tutorial on it and stuff, and I haven't been able to do it because it is a little bit weird, but it's simple, really simple, so I might as well do it now. And I know that this will come in handy now, the spoolie brush thing, which is JS7. I'm still learning. So I'm going to use the end of this to do it as well. So using Tarte Shape Tape, you can use eye primer, anything really, but I'm just using a little bit of a blob on my hand there, creating a line going out, and then the same one on the other side. So when you've done it on both sides, you go down the bottom then. And again, starting from the corner. So then, using the rest of the concealer or whatever you use, just fill in this gap. Then using a softer brush, a cleanish brush, soften that out a little bit and blend it on the edges. Just using translucent powder, just go over it, sort of set it. So that looks a bit weird, but I'm going to add a black eyeliner now, just using a Soap and Glory one. So that's my eyeliner done, not super mad, but just enough so that you can see. I'm just going to go on my rims and my under eyes in a CRT, and it's a Wonder Wand Kohl Gel liner. So I'm just going to go in the corners, just to connect to the outer corners of the wing. So now I'm going to do my mascara and my eyelashes, and then I'll be coming back to you. Hi, so I finished my makeup, I've just put my hair up, put some earrings on, and yeah, this is my finished look. So it does look a bit weird, obviously it's not a day-to-day sort of look, but I just thought I would just mess around and play a little bit. But yeah, I hope you like it. So my thoughts on the brushes then, so let me zoom out a little bit. So we got 7 brushes in all. So the first one I used was the foundation brush, and I was really impressed with this. It felt lovely going on. It blended my foundation in lovely. The foundation I used is sort of medium to full coverage, and I felt that it just blended in beautifully into my skin. No problems whatsoever. I do prefer a sponge finish because I like to sheer out my foundation a little bit and build up colour where I need to, whereas with a brush I can't do that. I just apply it all over and it's quite an even finish, which is nice obviously, and definitely more if I was doing more dramatic makeup like I'm done today. It's definitely a thicker foundation look I would go for, and I would use a brush. So I'm really chuffed with this, really chuffed with it. I think it's a really nice foundation brush. So second one then was this multi-purpose brush. So this is the JS2, and it's a powder brush. I think it's absolutely beautiful, setting under the eyes, and I set it on my eyebrows as well, on my nose, forehead, chin. It is so soft. It is really lovely and soft, and yeah, no, I really enjoyed applying powder with that. I tried to use a bronzer with it, but I just think it's just too elongated. I prefer a shorter, stumpier type brush, but the roundedness is nice, but I just found that it was just, I didn't have as much control over the bronzer as I'd like it, but it was still fine, it was still okay. And then I used this for the blusher, perfect blusher brush, perfect, just went on my skin really beautifully, applying it on the apples there, no problem, I absolutely love it. So for setting powder and for blush, definitely a lovely brush. So 2 so far that are fab. Next we went on to the contour, which I forgot I did before all my powdery stuff. So the contour is what is this? This is JS3. And nice precision brush, so nice to be able to do like certain spots around your face, maybe a nose contour. I don't tend to do that. Definitely good for jaw defining. I found for contouring on my cheeks there, it was a little bit too harsh. I prefer a slightly fluffier brush. So it's not a brush that I'm going to be using all the time, but because I don't always do a contour, in all honesty, I might do just a tiny bit, but not often. But it's definitely a brush that's not going to be put away and forgotten about. I will use it, but mainly for precision, like here and around the edges. So yeah, so it's a so brush. And then we went on to highlight, and I love this. It is such a lovely brush. Applying the highlight here, it's just so nice. So nice, really nice and soft as well. So chuffed with that one. Then we went on to the brows. Amazing spoolie, amazing brush, brushing up my eyebrows there, perfect. Yeah, it's a nice brush. And then the other end, I didn't use it for eyebrows, but this is a super fine, thin brush. And it's going to be more of an arty brush for me. Like obviously I used it to carve out that sort of, I don't know, what would you call it? Triangle of my eyes? I don't know, starburst look? No, I don't know, whatever you call it anyway. But I used it for that, but I think it would be really handy to, it'd be nice to carve out some interesting work on your eyelids and stuff. So I do think this is a really nice brush. And yeah, I will definitely be using it again. Then lastly then, we go on to the eyeshadows. So first we got a crease brush. I really love this. Not as good as my Zoeva 228 because it's slightly fluffier. Still got the point, slightly fluffier. So I'm able to use that into the crease and blend it and buff it out a little more. This is more for precise crease work. It is pointed on the ends and it does fluff out a little bit, so you are able to blend with it, and it is a really nice brush. But yeah, I think I prefer for crease work, like an all-in-one crease work. You know, you can get a crease and the blend. The Zoeva 228 is my go-to. This I will definitely be using. I'll be using this more for darker shades, more in the crease, I think. Not so much like to blow out, like as a base colour or like a transition colour, but more as a darker shade in the corners where I can concentrate more and create more of a defined look then. But no, really impressed with that. And then lastly, this brush then, which is a blending brush, but you can use it for whatever you want, so Jeffree Star says. But I used it to pack on colour. It's got a really nice shape. It's not completely flat. It would be nice if it was a little bit flatter, but it's fine. It is sort of rounded, but a little bit flat. So perfect for applying colour straight onto the lids there, which I used, and for underneath the eyes as well. So when you turn it sideways, it's nice, and you can really concentrate, you know, how much you're putting onto your lids, etc. So I'm going to go off now and wash these, and then I'll come back. The bigger brushes are virtually dry, so I thought I'd come back and show you. Starting off with the big face brushes then. Lovely, really nice and easy to wash. I use Pears Pears soap. So I gently swirl it and then rinse it under warm water, and yeah, then I put it into shape and then I let to dry, and it feels lovely. Exactly the same shape as what it was. Same with the foundation brush as well, just really nice and easy to wash, and feels nice and soft, and no different there whatsoever. Same with a contour brush, no bits sticking out, nothing, just really nice and easy to wash. But look at these three fluff balls. Can you see? Oh, they are completely fluffy, and I don't want them to be. I was really gentle, so I'm gonna have to wet it again and try and see what I can do. But these, completely fine. They are lovely. I like these. I like these a lot. So yeah, so my final thoughts are that this cost me, was it something like £43 something? You're talking 7 brushes, so even if I don't use these again and I use these, it works out to be about £10 each. So a little bit expensive for Morphe, obviously, but they are Jeffree Star. They do look gorgeous, and they are really nice brushes. Not so much this contour, it's an okay brush, but especially these Too Faced ones, amazing, and I love the brush on here. But I'm just shocked with washing these. Oh my word, oh my word. I just left them and then they were like this. Anyway, I'd love to know if you've got them or if you've ordered them, and also if you're watching this after having a play around with them, if you did buy them and you've washed them, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. But I am glad I've bought it. It is nice. They do look nice in my collection. So yeah, so I am chuffed. So as always, I'd love to know your thoughts, so let me know down below what you think. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, it'd be lovely if you give me a big thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel for lots more videos to come. So take care, I'll speak to you soon, bye.